Hi, good morning. Happy Sunday to you. Having a few connection issues before we get started this morning. I just wanted to share something with you today. In case you haven't seen any of my videos before, my name's Tess Crawley. I'm a clinical and forensic psychologist based in Hobart in Tasmania. I have a practice that's quite large now, has grown quite significantly over the years, and we now have offices in Hobart and Launceston, and I have, over a dozen clinicians who work with me, so psychologists and provisional psychologists and clinical psychologists and social workers, mental health accredited social workers, and we're in a growth phase at the moment. We're looking to recruit more mental health professionals such as occupational therapists for kids and speech pathologists and so on and so on. So I wanted to share something with you today. It might come as some surprise to you to know that I'm not always the most confident person in the world. I do a lot of fake it till I make it kind of stuff, and talking to you guys has become much easier. If you look right back to my very first live video, I talked about doing it despite the fear, and I was really nervous. And now these videos have become quite easy. It's a bit like having a chat with a friend. But behind the scenes, obviously my business is in a growing phase, and my clinicians are fabulous. I trust and adore my team. But every now and then I suffer from worries about whether or not, the major business decisions I'm making, whether or not they're the right ones, whether or not they'll work out for us, whether I'm doing the wrong thing, whether people are going to judge me, blah, blah, blah. So recently I've decided, good morning Amanda, I can see you've joined us today. So recently I've decided to put my money where my mouth is a little bit, and I've taken on I've joined an online community, an online course, if you like, and it's actually run by Mel Robbins, and I've talked about her book, The 5-Second Rule, before. Now, she's not a psychologist, but she has a team of people behind her that, draw on psychology research. And the aim of the group that I've joined, or the program that I've joined over the next couple of months, is to help people at all stages of life, whether they're people who've been at home for a long time due to illness and looking to return to the workforce, or people who are unhappy in relationships, or people who are in business and want to get some clarity on the next steps of their business. So there's people from all walks of life all around the world. I think there's something like 1,400 people in this group. So it's actually quite an amazing community. And the purpose of that is to gain, she talks about clarity, confidence and courage being the main goal. So for me, it's often about clarity. It's a lot about clarity, not letting fears and inner judgments cloud the clarity I need to further develop the business and the practice, and make sure that the resources I'm providing for the community, such as these videos, for example, lead to something else that I can provide for the community. So I'm all about, making sure that what I'm doing is a benefit. So as part of that group, we have some homework to do. Now, it's actually interesting putting the shoe on the other foot, because psychologists are very good at giving out homework, not so good at doing it. So it's been a really interesting morning for me, sitting down with the homework that I've been procrastinating away from and avoiding and hiding from for the last bunch of days, and I actually got that homework done today. And the questions in that homework were all about, in different areas of my life, where does fear stop me from doing certain things? Where do I need more courage to do certain things? And also reflecting on, where have I not let fear overcome me, and where have I allowed courage in? So a really good example of that you'll be familiar with if you've been watching these videos is my journey to go back to the gym to become healthy again after a 10-year absence, and that the big fear that was preventing me from doing that was all around time scarcity. I don't have time to put myself and my health ahead of all the other pressing obligations that I have. So I've overcome that fear. I've proven to myself by just diving in, so by showing some courage. By diving straight into that, I've realised and provided evidence to myself that those fears, those time scarcity fears, were actually unfounded. We all have the same 24-hour allotment per day, and it's up to us to choose how we spend that time. And, so sometimes it does mean that I do more work after the kids are asleep, so I might be staying up a bit later some days getting work done, but I'm also getting healthier. And so it's a nice balance there. So, psychologists will often give clients homework to do when we're working on any number of things. So, for example, you might be doing some values-based work with your psychologist or your social worker or other mental health professional. And values-based work is all about identifying what are the things that really drive you, and that stuff feeds into what you're passionate about and helps you with goal setting and helps you with prioritising. So sometimes you need to do a bit of homework around that outside of session, spend a little bit of time thinking about those things and writing down your thoughts. Cognitive behavioural therapy is based very much on the work that's done between sessions. So in a session with a mental health professional who's a cognitive behavioural therapist, you will talk about the ways that your thoughts might be preventing you from moving forward with anxiety, or it might be holding you back and pulling you down with depression, and learning about negative thinking habits, learning about what they look like, learning how to identify them. And then in between sessions, you'll be spending a lot of time working on strategies or working on the homework that's all about helping you become more natural at identifying those thoughts when they happen. So I wanted to sort of pick up on that idea of homework and pick up on what I'm putting myself through at the moment, which is actually a really positive thing, and offer a little bit of a homework activity for you all that might unlock some thoughts in your own minds and unlock some fears that you might not have realised you had, and unlock some ideas around how you might move forward with whatever it is that's holding you back in life. So it might be that you're really wanting to get back to the gym like I was, or it might be that you're really wanting to get back to painting if you're an artist, or it might be that you're really wanting to write a book, or you're really wanting to just speak up at a meeting. You might be one of those people at work who's crippled by fears of being judged, and so you never speak up in a meeting, and that's holding your career back. So whatever it is that's holding you back, the homework I want you to do, I want you to get a notebook. And I want you to keep this notebook, because every now and then I'm going to pop up with other homework activities, and I want you to keep them all in this notebook. And this is your notebook. You can call it Tess Said I Had to Do It book, if you like. In that notebook today, I want you to write the heading, Fear is Stopping Me From. And then I want you, for that just one page, A4 page, I want you to write as many sentences as you can come up with that start with fear is stopping me from. Okay, it might be fear is stopping me from getting my hair cut. Fear is stopping me from speaking up at a meeting. Fear is stopping me from going to a party. Fear is stopping me from advocating for my child at school. Any number of things that you might be feeling that you're being held back. Start with fear is stopping me from. And I've got a follow-up for that, which I'll try to remember to come back to you with tomorrow. Have fun with it. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't be judgmental about what you write down. Just write. Don't worry about analysing what you've written before you've written it. Just write and keep writing. And when you feel stuck, if you haven't finished your page, keep going, because it's that stuck bit that's where all the juices start to flow, when you get past the stuck bit. So be fascinated. Obviously, I can completely appreciate that you might not feel that it's appropriate to share on this page what you discover about yourself, but I would encourage you to really give it a go, because this is unlocking something amazing in you. Have a great Sunday. Go get yourself a cup of tea, toddle down to the newsagent and get yourself a gorgeous notebook of some description. I love those moleskins. There's some really nice notebooks. So treat yourself to something nice. Don't just use a scrap of paper. But don't hesitate. If you want to get into this now, do it now. And perhaps invest in a nice notebook for yourself for next time. I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a fabulous Sunday. Bye-bye for now.